I'm going to tell you how Bayonetta 3 is going to play out. Seriously. And this theory doesn't involve time travel, it doesn't involve the multiverse, which basically wipes out 90% of my videos. Also, stream Pure Platinum Bay.
Oh, you ain't one typical witch. Girl, as I drift in my switch.
Enough about the multiverse, the variants, the time travel. What would be the most plausible plot that fits these rules, as well as links to the Cheshire Swordsman at the end. I'll even put a spoiler warning just in case. Hello minasan, it's been a while. I've been ignoring the most obvious clue in both trailers for Bayonetta 3, and that is the splitting of the Umbran logo and her name. Now, I'm not going to rule out the multiverse or time travel entirely. This is just what I believe is the most logical reason without the confusing rules of those certain plot devices. So here is what I think. We are around 2 to 3 years after the events of Bayonetta 2. Also, just to clarify, this theory does not involve Brave Cereza or any other Bayonetta variants, just a clean slate of Bayonetta 3 theories. So sometime after the fall of Aesir and the Eyes of the World now gone, this provokes some sort of imbalance in the Bayoverse, which is, in this theory, one singular timeline that changes whenever you change something in the past. To time travel nerds like me, I hate single... Just for some context, the Bayonetta that we knew even during Bayonetta 2 was already quote-unquote fixed. When we brought back the little Cereza, that changed the whole timeline, which is why Bayonetta was able to awaken the left eye of darkness and have all her memories back. Moving on, sometime after the events of Bayonetta 2, I theorize that the Bayonetta that we know and love was split into two beings. And people have commented on this before. One who is the different Cereza that we see in the 2021 trailer, and someone else who I'll get to in a moment. Let me just put it out there. This design looks way too distinctive to not be the little Cereza. There can't not be a connection to that little girl that we raised in Bayonetta 1. I may have butchered my double negatives, but you know what I mean. We've said this multiple times in the past that this Cereza has a different demeanor, different style of clothes, a different fashion, having more of a classic gothic Lolita style dress, which might I add is one of the staple Harajuku trends around 2007. You can still see that the braids are the same, as well as still having that dark, yet playful kind of overtone. So essentially, this is only one half of the Bayonetta we know and love, so let's go down the list of why I think this is the case. She has more of a playful and ballet method to her attacks rather than the direct martial artist form that we know Bayonetta to have. You have the symbolic foreshadowing even from the 2017 trailer of the Umbran logo, and even that Cereza herself literally being cut into two pieces. The Whittingham Fair clue could be a hint to another half of Scar. It's also the first logo that incorporates the glitch effect once the split occurs in the literal name Bayonetta, which can be seen as RGB colors, or you can say it's the splitting of Bayonetta's colors, aka her personalities. By the way, let me know in the comments how you pronounce this word. Is it Scarborough, like how Simon and Garfunkel say it, or is it Scar? Regardless, I personally think Scarborough sounds better and flows off the tongue more, but let me know what you think. Or, if you want, I can just pronounce it as Scar. Anyways, Bayonetta splitting into two beings could have been foreshadowed by Loki after the Battle of Aesir, where he finally reiterates,
"Sorry, love, but you still don't strike me as a Cereza."
Which I believe is a hint to the braver portion of Bayonetta, the little Cereza having a different personality to the Bayonetta we are used to. Going back to the logos, this is likely the ultimate hint to the game itself. Yes, we can interpret it as the second Armageddon, but I just thought the literal split of the name Bayonetta would be a foreshadowing of this whole theory. So, the big question, and I'm pretty sure some of you know where I'm going with this, I'm sorry Bikey John fans, but could that swordsman or blade master at the end of the trailer be the other half of Bayonetta? An even more sinister half. If you think about it, the Bayonetta we know and love after the events of Bayonetta 2 was a mixture of the Bayonetta who endured discrimination and was deemed the outcast, and the empowered brave self that we developed at the end of Bayonetta 1 thanks to singular timeline time travel. An exaggerated half of the positive one would be the playful Cereza that we saw in the 2021 trailer, and the negative, more ominous half to be the Blade Master at the end, which could also be a quiet, subtle reference to the yin-yang concept. And there is the physical clue of the Cheshire doll. As someone who remembers the trauma, the Cheshire doll would have been the closest thing to her. Or maybe this person just DM'd Yashesk. But you also have the short hair, which, if you were to see the parallels, the brave half incorporates the long length of Bayonetta's hair, and this one may be the half that prefers the shorter hair of Bayonetta 2. I also think that the blood moon is a hint as well. Not just an Armageddon hint, but could the blood moon or the lunar eclipse be the event that separates Bayonetta into two beings, or every witch into their true selves? What about the infamous purple figure in the 2017 trailer? Eggman would be the best choice to answer the Bayonetta 1 prologue scene. Who said that? Anyways, I'm still sticking to Eggman the Destroyer being the best choice for the purple figure. This being a foreshadowing, this event right here, of the Blade Master, who we think is the sinister half of Bayonetta, encountering the Lolita Cereza that we saw in the 2021 trailer. In saying that, I would think that John wouldn't have any conflicting inner personalities, right? Or does she? If Bayonetta or witches can separate their personalities, what's not to say the same for John, with her brainwashed self and her usual self? And therefore, we'd have double the amount of time of John. Because we only had around 30 to 40 minutes of her screen time, so I hope we get more footage of John this way. We aren't talking about variants here as much as I want that. I believe Bayonetta 3 could enter the territory of the physical manifestation of personalities. You also had the 4chan leak a few months back. While you shouldn't trust leaks, of course, and assume they are fake, it would be a nice coincidence if that was correct with the game and this theory. This is not even the first time we've had this scenario, as Lupter and Loki were the first ones to have this. Possibly this was a big hint to what was going to come in the third game, or they used this as a catalyst when they were writing the third game. I would love to see John's... Wait, we're gonna have to come up with a name for this. If variants are selves from different timelines, maybe we'll call them dissociants, which are split personalities that are manifested, possibly having a Bayonetta vs Cereza arc near the end, which I would be absolutely hyped to play. We might even get a 9SA2 type of scenario at the end, leading to 2 different endings. Or not. I don't mind. It is more than likely that in Bayonetta 3 that the Trinity of Realities have combined. And I think the existential question, and what I think would be the cost of the resolution, is do we fix the Trinity of Realities by splitting them apart since they have combined? But at the same time, doing that might keep the dissociants separated forever. There are so many dramatic scenarios and emotional scenes that you can put, that's only one of them, but I believe there is some sort of sacrifice that is going to happen, that might even see the sacrifice of Sinister Bayonetta dying, passing the torch onto Brave Cereza for future projects. Or they might resolve it in the happier route, where both of them are going to combine once again to see our Bayonetta. At this point in time, whatever happens at the end is speculation, but there's no doubt there's going to be some sort of emotional battle, much more emotional than the previous two, and it will involve the little Cereza who we raised. It's good to be back, and remember, it's okay to fall, but never get disheartened.